Hi, I'm Cameron McIntosh, the author of the Max Booth Future Sleuth series, and I'm going to read for you first half of the first chapter of Max's latest adventure, Film Flip. So I hope you enjoy. Here we go. Chapter 1, The Ancient Canister. It's the third morning in a row I've woken up at 7:35 a.m. and I'm not happy. Most people think that's a reasonable time to wake up, but for me and my Beaglebot Oscar, it's really quite early. That's because we're always up so late, going through boxes in the Blugsville City Museum storeroom, searching for ancient treasure. I'm sitting up, trying to shake some sense into my brain when I realise Oscar isn't lying on the floor beside me. I poke my head out of the old packing case we sleep in and look around the storeroom for any sign of him. Oscar, are you out there somewhere? I don't get a reply. This is very unusual for Oscar, or at least it was until a few nights ago. The last 2 nights, he suddenly started sleepwalking. I can only guess that's what's happened this morning. I crawl out of the case and hop to my feet, looking around with sleepy eyes. All I can see is the huge storeroom we live in, full of junk piles and stacks of boxes. So far, there's no sign of Oscar. I start walking around to the back of the case and suddenly I hear a loud thump. As I move around a little further, I see Oscar with his eyes closed and his nose pressed against the back of the case. All 4 of his paws are trying to walk, but he isn't going anywhere. I tap him on his back, just above his main control pad. Oscar, I groan, sleepwalking again? One day you'll walk yourself into some big trouble. I might have to start switching you off at night. Oscar suddenly rocks back onto his bottom and shakes his head, dazed. I hear a voice behind us. What on earth is going on here? I turn around and see my best friend, Jessie, watching us with a quizzical look on her face. Jessie is the supervisor of the storeroom. We're very lucky that she lets Oscar and me live in here. Otherwise, we'd be out on the streets, or worse, back at the Skyburb 7 home for unclaimed urchins. Oh, hi Jessie, I say. I'm just trying to wake this sleepwalking robo-dog. He's done another midnight prowl at the storeroom. Jessie laughs. If this is your idea of midnight, I think you'd better start going to bed earlier. Well, sometimes it's worth it, I reply. We were up until 2 o'clock this morning and look what we discovered. I crawl back inside the packing case and grab a strange metal object I'd never seen before 2 o'clock this morning. I'm expecting an excited reaction from Jessie, but as soon as she sees it, she ruffles my hair and sighs. Sorry, Max, she says, I can see why you'd be excited about it, but those things have been in the museum's collection for years. Oh, I reply, what is it? It's called a bicycle pump. Back in the 21st century, people had to use those things to pump up the tyres of their bicycles. Why did they do that? Well, the tyres helped bicycles ride smoothly along the ground. Along the ground? Wow, that's quite primitive. And dirty too. It's all a bit disappointing, especially because I thought I was going to earn a few dollars from it. Jessie and I have a special arrangement. When I identify a new object for her, she pays me a few dollars for it. It's very helpful pocket money. It helps me keep my tummy full and Oscar's joints well oiled. Never mind, replies Jessie. There's something in the workshop that might be of interest to you. Don't tell me, you've baked another batch of cyber scones. Even better than that, a new item from Professor Wong. Whenever I hear that name, I know something exciting is about to happen. Professor Wong is the big boss of the Blugsville City Museum. When the museum comes across an item she isn't familiar with, she hands it to Jessie. If Jessie can't figure out what it is, she passes it on to me and Oscar. Sometimes we know straight away what it is, and other times we do everything we can to find out. Today looks like it might be one of those days. Jessie disappears into her workshop and comes back a moment later with a small black plastic cylinder in her hand. Have a look inside, she says. Jessie hands the cylinder to me and I pop the lid off. There's a strange, shiny object inside. I tip it into my hand and hold it up in front of my eyes. It's all metal except for a round plastic part sticking out at the end. The metal is black and yellow and has tiny words printed on it. None of them make any sense to me. You really have done it again, Jessie, I say. This thing's so weird, I can't even guess what it might be. And that's where we're gonna leave it in this video, but we'll look forward to showing you what that thing is in the next one. Thanks a lot.